This video is dedicated to Deja Shade. A huge shout out to Deja Shade for supporting the channel. Rin and Seri Inseparable, Cat Dog Tribal, versus Sachi, daughter of Seshiro, Saskia the Unyielding, and Silvos, Rogue Elemental. I would very much like to ramp in the early game, and we're not ramping with that. I also want to get down our commander before we start casting creatures, so let's risk a mulligan. Okay, well, there's no ramp there, but yeah, we could rely on Wheel of Fortune maybe. I think we can try and get into another land and then go in for Wheel of Fortune early in the game and hope that our opponents have kept a decent hand and wheel into a worse one. So we will keep on that. Alright, and that's exactly what we needed. Get into another land, so we are online for a turn 3 Wheel of Fortune if we decide to do that. Let's go in for a tap land, start things off. A Mosswort Bridge coming in and putting a Hideaway card underneath there. Playing against 3 friends of the channel. Valdrig is a patron, playing Saskia the Unyielding. And then we've got the True Multar on Silvos. And then Mattisman on Sachi. And I'm hoping that Valdrig has better luck than he did in the last game because he was just stuck on a 1-lander. Alright, another land for us might actually hold off on the Wheel of Fortune then. Very surprised to see so many lands in the early game. So let's go for the Enoch Bondkin. We do have a little sub-theme in this deck of playing around doubling season pretty much. We've got Parallel Lives and Anointed Procession in here as well. So we want to double the number of tokens as well as double the number of +1/+1 counters that we can throw around. Anyway, Priest of Titania coming down from the mono green player. And Val does get into a second land as well as a third one from the Nature's Law, getting out the Triome. Okay, well apparently we didn't need to worry about keeping only 2 lands in our hand. Getting into yet another one. Let's go for the Tiger. And I think we'll get down the Beastmaster Ascension and then our commander next turn. And then let's offer up the trade for the Priest of Titania. I highly doubt that the Priest of Titania is going to block here, but it does put a plus counter, or charge counter, whatever these are, onto the Ascension. Now a Kadama's Reach from the mono green player. That's exactly what I was hoping for, but like I said, if we're going to keep drawing into lands, we don't necessarily need to worry about it. And then attacking us for 1. With the Priest of Titania. And down comes the first commander of the game, Saskia the Unyielding. Hopefully we can get out a lot of tokens to block with that. Naming the True Multar as the chosen player. And so they're going to take down the mono green player as quickly as they can, seemingly. Obviously worried about being trampled through and things like that. Okay, and then the Sachi player, just playing a 4th land and passing the turn over. We get into another cat to play, which is good. I think we're just going to hope that we can keep our Rin and Seri in play. And for the first time, play this commander out. Then with the Enoch Bondkin, we will go in Mattismen and just show our opponents that we're trying to spread the damage around. Now it is a Beast Whisperer from the mono green player, so getting both ramp and some card draw going. And getting into a Fauna Shaman, so as the Priest of Titania suggests, they are going to have a lot of elves in this deck, and that does cantrip thanks to the Beast Whisperer. Might be that they've got elves on the low curve and then big stompy creatures at the height of the curve. Oh, Zergo Helm Smasher is coming down now. Val is doing a lot better in this game. I think we've played against Val's Saskia deck quite a few times, and yeah, it is quite a powerful one. So we'll see how they want to swing here. Okay, going in at the Silvos player with the Helm Smasher. And then it looks as though Saskia is going in over here. Deciding to block with the Fauna Shaman so that they don't have to take, what would that have been, 14 points of damage. Yeah, this doesn't have trample, does it? So they just take a hit for 3 from Saskia coming over here. And then at the end of the turn, Yeva coming down. So that's why they held up the 4 mana. Then deciding to go in for their Sachi. And that allows them to tap down the Shaman. So this must be Shaman Tribal, as you would expect in a Sachi deck. Tapping this down for 2, they played a land. And now going for Kodama's Reach. Okay, Kazali Pride Mage for us. Let's definitely get down a land. And I think it's Leonin Warleader for us. And we can try and get as many counters on the Beastmaster Ascension as possible. Missing haste at the moment, but yeah, we'll slow roll it out and get out the Leonin Warleader. And that will get us into a dog creature token. Don't know if I've seen the tokens from Rin and Seri yet. Okay, there is an Alsatian in full body armour. It looks like it's got a quiver of arrows and a little dagger on the back there as well. Anyway, Leonin Warleader comes down. And I think it's best if we just hold back for now, as much as I don't like it. We've got some decent blockers there, so I don't think anyone's going to be swinging in at us. I'm going to be half tempted to go in for, maybe Oran Frostfang next turn, so that we can start drawing cards without going for a wheel. And failing that, we can always just rely on the Wheel of Fortune. Surak the Hunkcaller now, which will be a haste enabler for 1 creature. Argument to be made actually for us swinging in with the Rin last turn, because we do still have a 4/4 blocker. And that way we could have swung in with all of these and activated the Beastmaster Ascension next turn. I think it's 7 counters you need on this. Yeah, it is 7, so we won't be active with that next turn. I think we're encouraging a board wipe anyway. These seems to be very creature-heavy decks that are at the table, which usually makes for a fun game. Anyway, Farhaven Elf coming down for Silvos now. Everyone managing to make plenty of mana. Then activating the Orrery Fastwood, putting a couple of plus counters on the creatures that entered. And then also going in for a Burgeoning as well. 4 cards left in hand. And they give haste to their own Surak. And swinging in with it, surprisingly. Going in at Valdrieg, who seems to have been targeting them quite a lot, so deciding to repay them in kind. Yeah, there's plenty of lieges in this deck. We've definitely played against this one before. It is a Deathbringer liege now. Then swinging in at the Saskia, going in at True Multar. And the Zergo Helm Smasher is coming in at us. We will just block with a dog token. And the Farhaven Elf is blocking the Saskia. A Sandworm Convergence coming from Sachi now. Creatures with flying can't attack you or planeswalkers you control. And you get a 5/5 worm token at the end step. Let's see if our opponent can take advantage of the Burgeoning. 3 cards in hand, and they did get into another land, so that's 2 cards in hand they've got now. Let's see about getting down the Kazali Pride Mage. That gets us into another dog token, and then we're going to get into a couple of cats with the Leonin Warleader. We'll only trigger the Beastmaster Ascension once, though. Alright, that lands, and we're going to make use of the Exalted here, so let's go for the Leonin Warleader into Silvos. And that swings in as a 5/5. We also get a couple of cats, as well as a counter on the Beastmaster. And we can make some scary creatures next turn. If we go for Oran Frostfang, they'll have Death Touch when they swing in. They'll also be very big creatures, so I'm thinking they go in at Val next turn, if the board stays as it is currently. We'll swing both of the tokens in. Actually, we'll swing one in at Val, and we're going to lose both of them anyway. Yeah, should have swung both of them. I was trying to spread the damage out. Should have swung both of the tokens in over here, but I didn't want to show the True Multar that we're really targeting them. Alright, so one of the tokens gets blocked with Saskia. We get to keep one of our life-linking cats. So hitting them for 6, we go up to 40 life again. And let's see if the mono green player wants to deal with any of these permanents before we go putting mana into Rin. Alright, a Reclamation Sage coming down. I imagine that goes after the Beastmaster Ascension. Not really too worried about that, although obviously it would be nice to keep it. That's more of a finisher, and I only played it because I thought we were going in for a wheel, but we got really lucky with the lands this game. So the Beastmaster Ascension is going down. We do have Sun Titan in the deck, so we could bring that back if we want to. Then going in for their Silvos, this does have Trample, and it's also going to have Haste, thanks to the Surak Huntcaller. Yeah, I don't know where they're going to be swinging in with that thing. Then going for Llanowar Elves as well. They can crack the Mosswort Bridge and get the Hideaway card now quite easily if they want to. And here we go. Let's see what they've got underneath that Mosswort Bridge. It is a lure. Alright, so all creatures able to block it do so. We might have to fight that thing. This is exactly why I held off on activating our commander. Now they're going for a plus counter onto that thing. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 damage we can deal to something, so not worried about the plus counter going onto their commander. Surak giving their commander haste, as you would expect. And now let's see where it's attacking in. Yeah, it's going in at Valdrig. I had a feeling that they'd do that, which is why I haven't gone for our commander yet. The Surak is going in there as well. I'm thinking if these two are going to bout it out, we can just hold back with our commander and do it at the end of this player's turn. Okay, that's good. Acting as some nice removal, getting rid of 2 creatures from Val, thanks to the lore. So Saskia goes down and the Deathbringer Liege survives. I think I would have gotten rid of this personally over the commander. They can't get their Saskia through to anyone at the moment. So yeah, I think I definitely would have gotten rid of this thing. Anyway, both the commanders go down. Yeah, our opponent didn't regenerate their commander. They thought that regeneration removed the Silvos from combat. Yeah, and then Valdriga's just chimed in with something. Yeah, I don't think that works the way he thinks it does. Regeneration just taps the creature and stops it from being destroyed and removes the regeneration shield. So they could have kept their commander in play with the single mana there, but I'm sure they'll have no difficulty in getting their Silvos down again. Okay, and they get into another land, so they can play their Saskia here, which is why the lieges are here, because, yeah, they will trigger on the commander being cast. We've also got this big stompy Zergo to worry about. Yeah, so there we go. They are going in for exactly that. Saskia triggering the liege. Okay, so going for tapping, or actually destroying the already tapped Zergo Huntcaller, and then tapping down the worm, which is largely irrelevant, I imagine, unless they're going to be swinging this in over there. Alright, and this time Saskia is choosing us. Yeah, that's what I'd expect. We're at 40 life, and we are developing quite a nice board state, so that's probably the right play from Val. And then swinging in at True Multar is getting Zergo, and Saskia is going in at Matismen, or Matismen, however you say his username. Let's see if Multar decides to take the damage, because we'll both take 11 here if he does. Decides to block with the Llanowar Elves. And then Saskia is going through, so we're going to take 5 from the Saskia as well. Yeah, Zergo's becoming a big problem now. How many dogs do we have? We've got 3 dogs. So, yeah, I was hoping we could take this thing down, but we don't have enough dogs, do we? We might just have to point removal at the Beast Whisperer. I'm thinking we go in for Auron Frostfang and swing in at Saskia next turn. And, yeah, just try and refill our hand. Okay, more green stompy stuff coming down now. Goreclaw, Terror of Kalsisma, followed by Shamanic Revelation. And that draws them 4 cards. They gain some life per creature they control with power 4 or greater, which was 4, 8, and 12. And they go up to 7 cards in hand. Now the worm is coming in at us as well. I think we'll go for the Arid Mesa. I'm going to get out a Plateau. And I'm thinking that we might actually go after the Sandworm Convergence then, if they're going to be swinging in at us. So we will block the worm with the Khazali Pride Mage. And then we'll go for an activation onto the Rin and Seri. And we'll actually point that at the Goreclaw. After all of the talk of taking out every other creature on the board, we went for something completely different. So I managed to take out Goreclaw, and then let's sacrifice the Pride Mage in response to the blocks. And we might as well get rid of that Sandworm Convergence so that we're not having the board littered with worms. I'm sure the last thing that cats and dogs want to see is worms. Because, as we all know, cats and dogs hate it when they've got a worms problem. Okay, Heroic Intervention in response. That's good to get out of their hand. Don't think this has trample, does it? No, so we still don't take the hit for 5. I'd very much like to get some plus counters on all of our stuff because it goes really nicely with the Death Touch. Anyway, another worm comes out with the Sandworm Convergence. Okay, Sky Hunter Skirmisher, flying and double strike. Yeah, I think we're just trying to refill our hand this turn. So let's go in for the Auron Frostfang, and then we'll get into the red zone. For each creature we control that deals combat damage to a player, we will draw a card. And I'm hoping that if we go into the Shaman player, we're not going to suffer any swing back from Saskia. Yeah, we have to go for it anyway because we don't have any cards in hand that we're going to make use of. So we'll go like that. I don't want to attack with my commander, so they can take whatever other creature they like away from us. And then we'll take the 2 lifelinking cats in at them as well. They enter attacking, and because of the way this is worded, it says attacking creatures you control have Death Touch. They actually come in with Death Touch because they are attacking. So that's even more card draw for us here. I imagine we're going to lose our Leonin War Leader here. That's exactly what they block, so they're going to lose a worm. We are going to draw 2, 4, 5 cards, I think. And hopefully we'll get into a Path or a Swords to Plowshares. We can make a land this turn as well. Yeah, we draw 5 cards with the Auron Frostfang. And we get into a Haste Enabler as well, which is really good. So we can go for... we can go further next turn into Release the Dogs if we want to. Let's just drop a forest here. It doesn't matter what land we play because we can't cast anything else. Not getting into any of our low curve things this game, unfortunately. So we will have to leave it there. I was hoping to get into a cheap creature of some kind there. Elemental Bond from Silvos. And then going into their commander again, they will draw a couple of cards, one from the Beastmaster and one from Elemental Bond. And then into another elf. That is Well-Wisher, so all the damage they've been taking all game, and surprisingly haven't taken any commander damage actually. The only person with commander damage is 11 from Saskia over here. So Well-Wisher next turn will start gaining them a nice chunk of life. And then just deciding to hold up 3 mana, so noteworthy that they didn't go for the Auron Reef Vastwood to put a plus counter on their commander and the Well-Wisher. Oh, there is a Thunderfoot Baloth from Saskia. Might not be entirely relevant anyway because I think they might have been swinging in here, but it means that we're going to take even more damage from Zergo. Yeah, if they decide to swing in at us, that's going to be really bad news. We're not getting into any of our removal. Okay, so Zergo Helm Smasher going in at the Silvos player, and Saskia going in over here, so spreading the damage around again. We are going to eat a lot of damage either way because Saskia has our name written on it. I think our plan next turn definitely needs to be getting rid of Saskia if we can. That is 8 on there. We will be 1 short even after we've gone for Release the Hounds. Ugh, yeah, so I don't think we're going to be able to get rid of Saskia without the spot removal. Anyway, Silvos blocking the Helm Smasher. And they will regenerate it this time, I dare say. So we take the full hit from Saskia, and then... Oh, what is that? I think we were at 40 there. So we go down to 25, so taking 15 apparently, if we were at 40. Okay, this time the mono-green player decided not to swing in, as is probably wise because, yeah, 1 more hit from Saskia and they are likely going down. Going for Quest of Renewal. As long as there's 4 or more counters on it, you untap all creatures you control at each other player's untap step. Yeah, that's a really good one when you're turning all of your creatures into mana dorks. Then Circle of Elders. That is a shaman, so it taps down for 2, thanks to the commander. They get their worm token. We get into Jazal Goldmane, where X is the number of attacking creatures. I don't think we can afford that. We're definitely getting down the cavern. And we're naming cat with that. We've got way more cats in the deck than we do dogs, because dogs are a very recent tribe. Yeah, unfortunately can't afford to get down Jazal and activate it, so we're going to have to hope for a land next turn maybe. Yeah, if we swing in with all of these, that's 4, 5, 6 and 7. That'd be +7/+7 on all of them with Jazal. If we get into a land next turn, we could make it even more threatening with release the dogs maybe. Yeah, I'm thinking we go further. And then if the plan is to hope to get into a land next turn, I'm thinking we just hold on to the Jazal Goldmane and don't go for the wheel. So let's go for release the dogs. Okay, so all of those have haste. We don't have any token doublers this game, unfortunately. But let's see. Do we want to attack in and draw some more cards? We can, again, try and draw as many cards as we can. Try and draw as many cards as we can and hope that we get into some spot removal. Yeah, we would have been in a way better position if we'd had another land. Really been missing the lack of ramp this game. I don't think it's wise to swing in, to be honest. There's too much trample on the board. Yeah, as much as I want to swing in, maybe we just do it with a couple of creatures. So if we go in at Valdrieg with a couple of cats, they're not going to block. We'll draw cards. We'll gain some life. We'll keep as many dogs in play as possible to deal more damage with Rin and Seri. Yeah, I don't think the extra 3 points of toughness is going to matter when it comes to blocks. I hope it doesn't anyway. So we'll just swing in like that, and yet again hope that we get into a Swords or a Path to Exile. Okay, no such luck. We just get into an Enlightened Shooter. We can cast it at least. I don't think Enlightened Shooter helps us. I think we'll just discard the Dismantling Wave. Anyway, we did get into another land for Jazal Goldmane if we want to do that next turn. Still not getting into any ramp, noticeably. Alright, and Silvos going in towards Valdrieg, putting a regeneration counter on there, or regeneration shield. Yeah, that does have trample, so not too sure what their plan is here. They can easily block, but any creature they block with, they will take out, so maybe that's all they're thinking at the moment. Valdrieg deciding to keep his board intact and just takes a hit for 8 commander damage. Huatli Radiant Champion coming in now, and Deathbringer is going to be able to tap down a creature if they want to try and force damage through. And tapping down a worm token again, which, that's funny, that triggers the quest for renewal, so that will be active next turn most likely. I imagine they tap these 2 down at the end of Val's turn. It only needs 4 counters on it. They're not activating their commander yet, instead going for Shana, Sisei's Legacy, and this time tapping down our commander. Not really too worried about that. We can't activate that anyway. I don't think we would have blocked with it. We might be able to get lethal on our opponents next turn. I'll go for a Soul Ring with this, and then we should easily be able to get down Jazal Goldmane and activate it with haste next turn. Whether we can push through enough damage is anyone's guess, though. I don't know if we'll be able to get past all the creatures. We'll be able to wipe all of them out, though, assuming they all block. And now, going for a plus onto Saskia, gets +X/+X, where X is the creatures you control, so that is +5/+5. I don't think they can push through enough damage to get Commander over here, but no doubt they'll try. Yeah, I forgot about the Zergo with Trample, that's the only problem. Yeah, we might be going down here anyway. Ugh, going up to 12. So we're going to take 12 from Saskia. I think we have to block as much damage from Zergo as we can. So let's go for 6 and 7. That means we take 7 from this, that's doubled up, so we take 14. And then we'll take 12 from this, assuming that they don't block, which will be... what will that be? 26 we'll go down to. Yeah, I think we'll just have to do that. In fact, that's an extra point of damage, isn't it? So we might as well block with the dog token instead. You never know when that's going to be relevant. So we'll go like that. Okay, some damage is being blocked by the mono green player here. Yeah, making a lot of blocks there, so that's even more likely that we're going to survive this. 4, 5, 6 and 7 being blocked. Hopefully they remember to activate the Well-Wisher in response. And then a heroic intervention. I was just thinking to myself that the more creatures go down here, the more likely it is that we can push our damage through to all players and take everyone out, but now they have hexproof and indestructible. I was calculating that we would go down to 2 there, but thanks to the blocks over here, we actually hover around 9. And yeah, I think it's no guts, no glory next turn. I think we're definitely going in for Giselle Goldmane. We just need to see how the Shaman player operates now. They tap down the creatures to get the quest counters. And then going for a Pathbreaker Ibex for even more trample. Wow. Does that mean we just get taken out next turn? Yeah, that's probably us done next turn then. I imagine they swing in at us just because we can't block them very easily. That's a shame. Well, you never know, they might not attack us. They should be worried about the swing back from Saskia. Hunter's Prowess. They are giving a worm +3/+3. When it deals damage to a player, draw that many cards. That just solidifies the fact that they're coming in at us, I imagine. Ah, no, that's a nice surprise. Going in at Saskia with a Shaman, a worm. Going in at them with that worm as well. It's not over till it's over. Alright, coming in at us with the Pathbreaker Ibex. Yeah, so we're still going to have to block with a bunch of stuff. They're going in at us with the Yeva as well. So I imagine we're done for here. All these things jump up to, yeah, really high power and toughness. So that is 12. I think that's enough to take us out on its own. Yeah, if we block that with 3 creatures, the other one with 2, we're done for there. Dying to a lack of removal and ramp in this game, I think. Although, might have been that we could have taken a player or 2 out next turn. Val deciding to block the commander with these 2. And the, what is it called, Shana blocks the Shaman over here. But Valdry going down there anyway. I don't know. They did hold back some blockers there, so I don't know if they could have survived that. Anyway, down to a 1v1 session. And then playing a couple more creatures at the end of the turn, going for Masked Admirers, as well as Wolf Skull Shaman. And then a Well-Wisher was activated there, taking them up to 19. There's way more cards in this player's hand, so I dare say they will be the ones to win here. Recollect is taking back the Allure, or Lure it's called. I still don't think they can do enough damage to them. They can force them to block with some stuff though. So that goes straight on to their commander. Consigned to Dust being cast by Matismen. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, so they go for the lore on that. They'd had to discard a bunch of stuff because they had like 18 cards in hand. So what did they have? Sakura Tribe, Springcaller, It That Betrays, Soul of the Harvest, Elvish Piper, Orochi Sustainer, yeah, a bunch of snakes and stuff to ramp into. Eldrazi Conscription as well. Looks like the Silvos player has pretty much given up, just deciding to swing in. A couple of worms blocking that. And this does have a regeneration shield on it. Only 1 card in hand over here, they just have to turn everything sideways next turn, and I'm sure that will be enough damage, so hopefully we'll get the game over and done with quite soon. Okay, only swinging in with 4 creatures for some reason. Hopefully that's enough to end this one. Yeah, it looks as though it is. That is a 10-10 with trample, as is that. An 8-8 and a 7-9. So that's more than enough to take them out. But deciding to try their luck with blocks. They've still got some life to gain from the Well-Wisher, but I still don't think it's enough. Yeah, taking them out anyway, going down to -3, so at least one of the big green stompy decks won that one. Not a whole lot we were going to do against 3 big creature trample decks in a token build, I don't think. I think we might have been able to take a player out or 2 anyway. I'll have to look back at it on the edit and see if Jazal Goldmane would have helped us there. But we were having to block with too many creatures and losing our tokens. So anyway, hopefully you all enjoyed this first visit to Rin and Seri. I'm going to try another game in which we will hopefully get into ramp and removal, and I will see you all in that one. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.